Mykonos isn't for everyone. Everyone wants to go to Mykonos, but Mykonos isn't for everyone. For what reason? Why would you want to go to Mykonos to do what? Just to say you went to Mykonos? And what have you said? Stimidos? Now, we're talking about lots of people, right? People who owe you money, but you see them vacationing in Mykonos. And I'm in Mykonos working, and these people who owe me money are on vacation. That can't happen. I've never dealt with anything immoral. For me, immoral things are drugs and women you pay for. I'll just say it like that. If you look at everyone's path, you'll see that many companies that opened and had good numbers ended up closing. For better or worse, we're all on record. Everyone knows what each of us is doing. Anyone who thinks they're doing things and nobody knows is wrong. A guy comes in with a car worth 20,000 euros. He isn't focused on profit from the transfer, but on attracting customers who'll buy drugs so he can earn money. That's why he doesn't care about investing in his work, which is his car. I mean, I've got young guys around me that I want to help and so on. They just care about getting the new iPhone, going out for coffee, and smoking hookah. Seriously, just work. Because when you reach 30 or 35, you'll see that. And you'll say, back then I started to build something. Why did everyone start at 30? Will you wait until 40 or 45 just to say you did it then? What are you actually going to do? Come on, man.
Welcome to FtaklakisTalks. In today's episode, I have with me Manos. Mano, how are you?
Good, good. You?
Thank you very much.
Be well. Thank you then.
Manos, are you involved in entrepreneurship a lot? Let me mention that Manos has Boss VIP Travel, which is basically, do you work with celebrities?
Yes, generally. We provide services in transportation and escorting high-profile individuals.
And right now we've also started Ion Travel Agency.
This is a travel agency for more mass tourism. So now we're moving away from being boxed into just what we know. I consider providing services to high-profile people to be a good thing. I want to offer this service and this idea to the mass tourism market. So even mass tourism, which theoretically is more low cost and doesn't pay for VIP, should at least have a partial VIP experience. Is that the approach?
Yes, so at first you started with more specific, more particular people.
I didn't start it myself, it just happened. I mean, the path I took led me there on its own, in my misfortune. Lucky, that's what I always say.
Now we'll learn about your journey.
Yes.
And now are you dealing with more ordinary people?
Let's put it that way, yes?
Yes, and you also have a hotel.
Was I about to ask that? Yes, but not hotels. I'm a shareholder in a hotel group.
Have you been doing this for a long time?
It's been a year and a half.
So Boss VIP is what you've been doing for years?
Yes, it's mine, Dre. I founded it, just like I did with Aeon as well.
How many years have you had it?
Look, technically my experience goes back 8 years, from when I started in Mykonos. Boss as an idea has existed for the last 45 years, but as an actual company, it's been around for 2 years.
Manos, in general, with every guest I want to learn a bit about their personal life. First, how was your childhood? Where were you born? To connect it with entrepreneurship, because to be so seriously involved, were you missing something when you were younger? I don't know.
I don't know. You and the audience will decide. My origin is from Kolonidro, Pieria. That's where my father is from. My mother is from Thessaloniki. I was born here, I grew up here, but I never really lost touch with the village. When I was little, I would go to that gentleman. It's half an hour from here, 40 minutes away. It's close, it's not far.
All right, and in general, what do you remember from that period, your childhood years? I mean, how was it?
Me, in general, I was a very lively kid. Overall, very active, not bad. I don't think anyone can say I was a bad kid, but I was very mischievous, annoying. I had a lot of energy. Back then, as far as I remember, I didn't like the way I was treated. Okay, I was annoying, I know that. There's no need to say it now that I'm older. But I think that's also what got me to where I am now, for better or worse, just like it might have done for anyone else. If I made any progress, it was because of my energy, and my family played a very big role in that.
Also, were you involved in competitive sports? I think so.
You told me you did competitive skiing.
You put all your energy into that?
Yes, since I was little, from 5 years old until I was 13.
I think you got into skiing, let's say, which is more rare.
My dad, I don't know, he had something like that because he definitely missed out on a lot more than we did. Because from the village, From a young age, it was work, not school. I mean, just a little bit of school and things like that. Work from a young age and all that. And he put me on the same work path too. And because I imagine he missed out on some things, he thought that sports were essential. That I had to do it no matter what, regardless of school and taekwondo. I've been doing that kind of thing since I was little. I never really stopped until now that I'm supposedly an adult.
I find skiing tough on the legs, since you must stay active constantly.
Yeah. And now it's just skiing and working out that I've kept up with.
Tell me, what competitions did you enter and what type were they?
Anyway, all over Greece where we went with the team, I was in Naousa at Triapente Pigadia. We made plans, trained. It's considered one of the top sports facilities in Greece, possibly the best, especially for professionalism. I mean, the slopes and so on really help an athlete to develop a lot. The 35 Pigadia are known for their competitions. It's much easier. Also the snow and the terrain at the 35 Pigadia.
Why did you stop? Did you get bored of it?
At some point, yes. I guess so. We used to get up at 5 every morning so we could leave from here and get there early because training started really early. We would finish at 2:30 by the time we ate, did everything, and got back. It would be 6 in the evening. It's not just that. You ended up exhausted, and as you got older, it got even harder. When Dad took us, he would drive us there in the morning, return to Thessaloniki for work and appointments, make announcements, then come back at noon to pick us up. The trip is about an hour and a half. So it's not like Leptokaria is right next door for everyone. Of course, we didn't know that back then. I only realized it as I grew older. But Dad lost out there. My mother. They wanted to help us grow, whether in sports, as people, or in anything else.
And it's not like in Vashitika where there's a school right next door and
you go
next door.
That's why theoretically skiing is such an expensive sport with equipment, gas, time, everything.
Or did it break down in general, the equipment you had, did it break easily? Or do you just get the equipment and it lasts you?
No, but does it need constant servicing? In professional sports, it needs servicing and new models. Did they break, he says? Okay, my dad wasn't knowledgeable. Of course, he didn't know about skiing. I didn't have all the equipment I needed. I had skis and so on. But never, did you ever have money for new models and all that? Because he didn't know, not because he didn't want to.
Until what age did you keep it up, skiing?
I think 13.
Did you quit?
Then?
I was 14 and then you told me. Did you start again?
Again. I wanted to do it since I was a kid, but because I have someone in my family who is very famous, a wrestler, 4-time world champion and so on, and I always had it inside me, the bug.
Is he well known in the field?
Yes, very well known in Mbali, if not the most, then certainly among the top.
Definitely, and your relatives too.
My mother's brother, yes. And in general, our whole family, we have many very close relationships with everyone. We don't lose touch. We definitely meet with everyone once or twice a week without fail. In the end, I started wrestling. I wanted to say I was young, but I started as soon as I finished skiing, and the reason was they wouldn't let me before. It was purely physical. They said that as a kid you could get hurt or something, which of course isn't true. Okay, a coach who knows how to train you can take you to the top from a young age without injuring you, without anything. And you see it now, with kids, like with distinctions abroad and so on. I see Kougium Sidis, for example, Pilidis in the past and so on, who are great athletes and will be for life, and kids are training all the time. Without knowing them personally, but because I like this field, I know their story, I learned it.
So you start again as a teenager, and how was that? Did you like it?
I liked it a lot. Okay, I'm also in a very good team. Back then at Iraklis, where I started, all the athletes were top-notch. My uncle, all the champions. Whether it was in judo, wrestling, or sambo. For example, our coaches, they were all top athletes, all medalists, all first places, European and world champions.
They all practiced other martial arts too.
I did taekwondo again for about 10 years, again at a competitive level.
Lots of girls, huh?
Yeah, really close. I really liked taekwondo, but I was always very stiff. I didn't have flexibility. I could lift my legs, but only for the kick, and I couldn't stay down.
Why did you get into martial arts? Was there, let's say, something at school and you wanted to learn?
No, I think it was purely because of my uncle.
From your uncle, as you said?
From my uncle and from the craziness I had. I was very active. Those things were the only thing that got my adrenaline going. Now, okay, all sports, of course, are good. Swimming too, and swimming in general, but also track and field and those things, they don't give you that kind of adrenaline. And sometimes the fear too, wondering what will happen, how will I react? Yes.
School in general, how were you at school?
School? Look, I never studied, but I never messed around. I was just under 17, according to the teachers, because I picked things up quickly. I would just listen and absorb things. I was always very good at math. I liked history, but in general, let's say, the technological subjects like math, physics, chemistry, and so on.
Where did you get in?
After that, I got into mechanical engineering. I went for a year, then I joined the army, and after I came back, I worked a season,
But you went later and they told me,
and then it started. I'm always a hands-on person. I really like to get my hands on things. Reading a book, becoming an engineer and all that, that's really up to someone else. How you move forward now, what I did over there, I started it, I was at the wheel. It was something I love, I adore. You could take everything else away from me. If you take driving away from me, whether it's on a bike or in a car, I'll die. It's my whole life.
we'll get to that later. I wanted to ask you about a car and take it from there.
Yes.
So, I want you to tell me a bit now, from the jobs you've had, what have you done to make money?
Look,
Since I was young.
since I was young, because of my dad, I call it country boy, but I mean it in the best way. I like those people and I wish they still existed, or even for my own kids to grow up like that, in that sense. What I mean is, I grew up with manual labor, as I say, a street guy, someone who's out there, someone who knows real life. In reality, out here, on the street, not behind a desk or behind a screen, people who think they know life and what it's like out here. There are many things you see in theory, in books, they tell you it's like this and that, but when you try to do them in real life, it's not like that. That's not true. Those are ideals under ideal conditions and so on, which might apply. But when you go out on the street and see that things aren't like that, like you read about, then you start to see the truth. Mpos took me with him from the time I was 13. On my days off, he went to construction sites and did plumbing and similar work.
Very young.
Yeah, back then I hated it. I didn't even want to see it. My friends would go play computer games, go out and play, and I had to go do this. But as I grew up and reached a point where I could, let's say, realize things, I said, at some point I told him, I said, thank you very much. I said, where? Back then? When I, let's say, was wondering, what are you doing to me? And maybe inside I was speaking badly, to myself, saying things like, why? Why like this? Yes, and I see that now. Let's say kids who back then they didn't choose to help their father, for example, or they chose the easy life. To go out, to play, not to get involved with something more, regardless of age, it's purely a matter of the parents. That's it, okay? I see where she is now and where I am. Whether you want to say it's better or worse, I believe I'm better off. Thanks to that. You made me work young so I'd understand what work is like. I wasn't afraid of work later. As I grew up, I wished I'd spent more time on plumbing to know it too. Now I know, but to fix something, to do something I don't know, to do an installation. Did you understand what I meant by that?
It's a very powerful service. Yes.
Yes, absolutely it is. Those who know and read the books we talk about will tell you that it's in the top three $3 million businesses. One of them is plumbing and generally these kinds of jobs, definitely contracting, let's say, but it was also, just so you know, a very good workout. Now, lifting 25 kilos to cement or the sandbags and so on is a big deal. For the body, it's a really big thing.
For sure, but would it be hard to train for that?
I don't think so. But you see, if you look at people now...
That's generally the idea.
Now let me tell you something, climbing stairs. Where are you going to go climb stairs now at the gym? Where do you climb? Those silly things? Or go do what? Treadmills? What are you going to do with those? Do you notice how construction or field workers are usually big guys? Yeah, they grab you and could squeeze you dry. Those guys have never even been to a gym. What is that strength? Is it patience, the work? Real strength? Raw strength?
So over there, how many years did you spend in institutions?
Even now, as a user, will I go? But, okay, now I don't have as much time as I used to, obviously. But even now that I'm here, if someone comes to tell me what I want, what I need, I'll leave. I won't say anything. I'm not afraid to wear them. Tracksuits and so on now. When I was younger, how do I say as the years go by? When I was younger. I used to say, oh, what if they see me now with these dirty clothes that I'm working? I thought embarrassing. That's what I used to say in my head. And now that we're considered better than back then, I say, so what? Who's going to judge me? Him? What has he done, let's say, to judge me? Someone who has accomplished things, he won't ask why you did it. He'll say, good for you for doing it. You get it?
All right, you in general, would you work somewhere else, like in food service? I don't know.
I did something else. I opened a cafe up there in Lambra every morning at 6 o'clock. I went to sweep, to mop. How old was I? Was I 17 or 18? I worked as a valet, and that's how I started. Yes, I worked as a valet here, and that's how I got started in Mykonos. My job in Mykonos, the first one I did.
Tips, what I've heard is
The tips are great, but our agreement was for a salary without tips. When I started, and most people, of course, just left for better or worse, I understood what the island could offer me, and I said it's okay. So, in between, I would come to Parama, and we worked 14 hours in the parking lot. But when you see that, within those 14 hours, you will meet 2, 3, 5, 10 people. And back then, in the golden years, okay, when I went in 18, those were truly golden years for Mykonos. Now, Mykonos is not what everyone thinks, like I'll go to Mykonos, I'll do this and that. It has really gone downhill a lot, and it will get even worse. Everyone, if you ask anyone, even someone who supposedly doesn't know, they'll tell you it's the prices that they've gone up. Me, in my simple mind, I say it's the prices that went down. What does that mean? Back in the day when you went to Mykonos, one night in a dump, in a hole, cost 500 euros. Think about that. It means that the people who would go there would be very rich people. Okay, but what does that mean? Here, when we sit at the club, I'll be sitting here with my 100 million and you'll be sitting next to me with your 110 million. We'll be arguing. Who's going to have the bigger bill? Now, when you go there for one night for 50 euros, which means I'll go, just an ordinary person, just to be able to say I went to Mykonos. And I'll be making a reservation next to the millionaire who came to spend 100 grand at the table today, and I'll be sitting next to him while I only have up to 100 euros to spend. You go to that kind of thing, Arabs mostly do. You spend 100, I spend 100, or maybe I spend 110. Who'll spend more and make a bigger impression? Just showing off? But you don't have that anymore. The rich guy doesn't want to sit next to me. To do what? To compare himself to whom? Because for better or worse, this nightlife is mostly about showing off and comparing for better or worse. But they don't get customers anymore. What should they do? I'm telling you, they don't want to. A wealthy person wants to meet another, hoping a business opportunity might arise through me, a network. Knowing me, what can they do with me? They have nothing to gain from me, for better or worse. Me. That's my opinion, that this is why the island has declined, because prices have dropped and not because they've gone up. Because a rich person never looked at the price list, you can be sure of that. They never said that. Let me see how much Clase Azul costs. They don't care. I want that tequila and those bottles. They didn't check if it was 5 or 5.5, since the difference used to be 5,000, but now it's 5, 500, or 6. That's not money for the level we're talking about. For those years back then,
do you think prices must rise for things to change?
I don't think it can ever change. No, it can't change. Never. It can't change. Because even the accommodations that were built for 50 euros are accommodations that were made for 50 euros. I can't just put them in the middle at 200 euros, 300, 500.
Should a person be stupid? Should he give that much?
He won't give that much. He's not stupid. Rich people aren't stupid. They didn't get there by actually being stupid.
They just have so much money that they don't care.
Yeah, they don't care, but will they pay because they'll get the best service or just for the name? They don't care. I mean, if I say, not me, but let's say I'm number one in my field and I say I want 5 times more than the other guy who's a nobody. Someone else may have the same cars as me, the same drivers, everything, but he's not me. When people know they'll get the exact service they want, they'll pay 5 times more. Those people, not the current ones, will argue with you over 5 or 10 bucks. For a trip Kistevras does for me, who said not even for 50.
Bad.
He takes the extra 5 and keeps getting more and more demanding without paying. Mykonos isn't for everyone. Everyone wants to go to Mykonos, but it's not for everyone. Why? Why do you want to go to Mykonos? To do what? Just to say you went to Mykonos? What did you say with that story? We're talking about a huge crowd. It's better people owe you money than see them vacationing in Mykonos. I'm working in Mykonos while he owes me money and goes on vacation? That's unfair.
Did you go to Mykonos from Thessaloniki?
First of all, how did I go to Mykonos? A friend from here tells me they're looking for drivers. I was supposed to go as a driver, not as a promoter. Pay attention, it's important that I say drivers. I said, perfect, right? He says, what about the money? 1,500. For me, it was 500 back then. Let me tell you, at that time, I was in a relationship for 5 years. And honestly, there were moments when I didn't stop her. Obviously, never. Would I have told her not to get coffee because I couldn't pay back then? What? I couldn't even pay for a coffee? That's embarrassing? And then I say back then, I was making 1,500 euros a month. For me, that was a crazy amount. Never mind that I was making those 1,500 for our boss in just 5 hours. Never mind that I was making those 1,500 anyway. It was 1,500 euros a month. Without guilt, whatever guilt our boss had, I was making that in 5 hours, never mind. Since that was my agreement, I kept it. But out of nowhere, 1,500 euros a month.
You, overall, what were we giving you? How much was it? How did you get there? How many?
Look, I'm telling you, those were the golden days. Those things don't exist anymore. Look, I want to say, don't let someone hear this and think they'll go and it'll happen. Those days are gone. That's it.
You didn't take them either? That crap?
It's okay. He had a huge party. I work at the Manos parking lot specifically. He had a party back then that Amir and the Abramos threw, which was the biggest on the island. I mean, we were literally full at the parking lot. There was no room for anyone else. He would come and I'd say, I don't care what others want. Just tell me and take my car. You tell him 500 and he does this like that. No, he doesn't even say 500. I go, I leave. You get it to go see the party. We're discussing this, and of the 500, parking was about 20 or 50 euros, while the remaining 450 were tips.
What did the other guy tell you?
Yeah, the rich people used to come, but I'm talking about back then, and I want to emphasize the back then part. Their tips. They didn't care. I mean, maybe they wanted you to just get the 20 or the 5, and that was fine for them. They didn't care, and they appreciated the service. If you were polite and all that, they didn't think about it, they didn't care, they would give if they had, but if you weren't good, they'd make your life hell.
So you mean back then, could they give you a 20 every day?
No, that's what I mean. Only at certain parties, which were at that parking lot.
But about how much per month, how much would the total be? Wouldn't you be making extra on top of your salary?
Placas.
More?
Much more? Yes.
This?
Yes, I mean the 200 to 250 euros per person. For me as a worker, per day it was nothing. And imagine, we were 20 people. Those years are over now.
Someone else does that, but it's okay.
It's all right. It was an agreement.
But then though, valet, go on.
Look, I started the first month as a valet, the second month as a valet.
Oh, not to go again next year?
I went again next year, but what happened? Me, like I told you, I went as a driver, not as a valet. And the boss over there knew that I was crazy about driving. He knew it. I've never had alcohol in my life, never coffee. I've never even tried a cigarette, nothing. My only bad habit is hookah, and I rarely do that. He put me on valet duty and told me, go, do a route. Go, do this route too. I would do the route, drop off and return, while others would stop for cigarettes or coffee before coming back. What did I do? I did that because I was working then. And I'm telling you, it's because my father made me work from a young age, not as a son, but as an employee. You have to do this, this, and that. You're here, you're getting paid. You'll do this and that, you're at work. Okay, I did that. He began giving me more routes as a valet. When there was a good customer, he'd choose me to drive, even though he already had 3 drivers, but they weren't always enough. He might lend us one of his personal cars, maybe to take someone or the bosses from Manos. I started to get customers and he would say, then with my car we would go there. A valued customer who spent thousands the next day. Then he made me an offer that night. He says to me, do you want to go out at night after work? This still is illegal. Now they call it unlicensed taxi work, meaning you go with a car without a company and so on, and you say on the street, taxi, taxi, you understand?
Yeah, like Uber.
You'd approach someone on the street and say taxi. Back then, you'd ask if they cared. He didn't. You'd say, how much? 100 euros? You want to go now? From here? In 5 minutes? He'd just get in, pay, and leave. That was back then. You go on the street, say 40 euros, and he replies, what? 40.
And that's how you hustled?
Get out of my car, I'll explain. He put me there that night. The deal wasn't half or a percentage. So, from midnight until 8 in the morning, he told you whatever you make, you get 20%. I made around, in my case, it was 200 euros a night. So from midnight to 8, I made that. There were extreme situations like you had a client inside. One time something happened. He took from a client inside. He says, let's go to my place. I ask where. He says, over there. I take him. His phone's off. He has nothing, but says, we'll find it. I had him in the car for 4 hours. He asks how much I want. I say 1,000. So the guy, lucky drivers, didn't say anything. He takes out 800 and tells me, let's go. I'll give them to you. When we found it, he tells me, wait for me to go inside. Will he give them to you? He says, it's okay. You understand? Hey, now 4 euros, I found you 8 euros, nowhere to find 100. Did he ever do things like that? Go inside. 150 euros in 5 minutes. Yeah, he wanted to leave. I didn't stop him since he was getting what he wanted, the cars. Back then, you'll see it was only Mercedes, and they came for the models. Now you go to Mykonos and you see Peugeot, Citroën, Renault, whatever you can, Dacia, Ford. These cars aren't VIP, yet these companies still claim they are. My cars, Mpos is 100,000 euros, his is 20,000 euros and says VIP. That doesn't make sense. What should we do? You get what you give. But because everyone has this idea in their head that Mykonos is that kind of Mykonos, they come over there and now they're forced, because it's not that kind of Mykonos, to lower the prices. From 50 euros, let's say, the minimum is now 20. He has to get by on 20,000 euros and I need 100,000. How are we supposed to compete side by side? Me, man, what does he do? He comes, drives market prices down and leaves. Because at the end of the season, they don't come out winners. I mean, what they make is okay, but it's not worth all the risk and the trouble and the damage you might suffer for that kind of money. So they come for 1 year, they say, the second year I'll make up for it, and the second year they'll make up for it and leave. But they've already done the damage. They've dropped the prices. That customer realized, I don't get just one customer, I get 30. I learned that the hotel has a transfer for 30 euros and not for 50 or for 20. It has these numbers.
Others joined in, the pie was shared, and now even worse ones have joined.
But there was work for everyone. I mean, they could have opened another 100 companies and just kept the prices and just worked at those prices. But no.
Yeah.
That's it. You should know, this only exists in Greece, nowhere else. If you look at history, this kind of thing doesn't exist. To drop prices and destroy the market like that, nowhere else. And when they talk about prices, about Mykonos, what? Did they go up? Go to Saint-Tropez? Go to Ibiza? Go to Monaco? Who looks at prices? Prices only go up, he said. No one says, I'm not going. No. But what you pay for, that's the service you get. They have, how do you say it? For something you want to do, they tell you that you have to meet these requirements. You can't be wearing shorts, let's say, to do a transfer in Monaco, or for those people, you have to have a Mercedes. They tell you, for example,
how did the idea for Boss VIP start? I mean, to start your own company?
Yes.
And one question, because someone might imagine this, might think about it, didn't you basically have everything handed to you? Is it because you're your father's son?
When I started, no one helped me financially. We're always talking about money here, because if we're talking about support, I had my father, I'm telling you, with the way he raised me, I had food at home. Of course, I never missed anything like that.
How did he find it? Because he's your father?
No, but no one ever helped me. No one ever told me to go there, take that. Just like that. For free, without paying. Do you understand what I'm saying? Never. Maybe a little, money for money. But let me tell you something. The first time I went out to have a good time was when I was 25 years old. Before that, until I was 25, summer and winter, I only worked. I started going out wherever I could find work. I never let a job slip away no matter what. Whether it was in Mykonos, here, at night, whatever it was, I didn't care, as long as it was work. A lot of things are being said, but I can only talk about things with facts. I never got involved in anything immoral. For me, drugs are what's immoral. Drugs and women you pay. I'll put it that way. If you look at everyone's path, you'll see that many companies that opened and had good numbers ended up closing. For better or worse, we're all on file. Everyone knows what each of us is doing. And those who think they're doing things and nobody knows about them, that's a lie. Everything needs to be monitored. I've managed to last all these years in Mykonos without anyone bothering me, because I never got involved in that part. I stay uninvolved and don't even give them a phone number, so I've lost many clients.
So much risk?
I've lost many clients, but gained just as many. I mean, why does the client pay me? For his transportation and his safety. His transportation and safety don't include drugs or women. That's someone else's job, you understand? Someone like a bariga, someone who arranges women, that's not my job. So if he wants to find the contact, he'll find it himself. I won't even give him the contact. I believe very much in both God and karma. Whatever you take like that, even if you feel safe, it will come back to you. It will be yours or it will be someone close to you. I will pay for it no matter what, and it shows. I'm telling you, in the long run, everyone pays, we all pay.
So, in general though, did you see drugs all the time?
The client, if he said, I want to go get my drugs, take me, I'd take him. My job is just to get you from point A to B. What you do at point B is your business. That's what matters to me. Get in the car, be careful in my car, speak politely to my driver, to me, or to whoever it is. And don't do things in my car that are unacceptable. I'm not talking about drugs, for example, hitting a woman, rape, things like that, things that are against the law.
You can't always know what others want.
I saw it later, but what will you tell him if you get in trouble? I don't care.
You can only get in trouble when you don't have a company. That's when they can pin a gang charge on you.
That's what I'm telling you. I did it back then. That's when we started. I'm telling you, in 18, 19, we worked like that, under the table. There were no police at all.
But the risk, I believe, yes.
That's the risk.
Because they might catch all of you.
That's what I'm telling you. I did it at night. But back then, the people they worked for were really powerful. I mean, they had good phones, but we never got involved with that part. But they don't last. Remember that? It will stop.
This?
It will stop eventually. Everyone will stop. You can be sure of that now. The way things are, everyone will stop. Already, this year and last year, they picked up a lot of people. And good for them. I'm glad. And they're doing the right thing. They gathered a lot of people. I'm telling you, it's not like before. You can't just go up to a cop and say, bring me drugs and I'll pay you. That doesn't exist anymore. I'm glad. I hope it stays like this for another 2 years. Let them kick all of us out, both transport services and escorts and everyone, until everyone is gone. Legal, I'll say morally, because the public, okay, there are some who are a bit extreme. Sometimes there's some abuse of power, but it should be at least morally, basically, right.
Then you said that all this is going very well and you decided to make it a company.
Personally, for another reason, because I really believe that karma exists and you'll be called to face it at some point. When I started out with those people, I didn't want to leave because I never wanted anyone to say, oh, I brought him to Mykonos, I taught him the job, and now he went off on his own. But the only reason I did it was because even those I worked for back then treated me like I was their enemy. They knew that if there were problems, trouble, whatever, or if one of their drivers let them down, I was there. But when they see a person rising, it's only natural that out of 199 would do it. I mean, they'll leave you behind and move on. They want to clip your wings. This man tried to clip my wings by delaying me, by bringing me a car and so on. And he made it so that I would leave. So when I left, he probably thought I wouldn't continue in Mykonos, but I was fine. At that time, I had someone by my side who happened to be talking to me, and he found me a car in one day and brought it to me. That man. This man stepped in and said, Manolakis is my boy, give him the car, he'll pay you in a week. And indeed, he paid the man in a week, but he gave me the car in one day. It was a front wheel drive. No, I didn't buy it, he rented it to me so I could work doing transfers, you understand? And that's how I started on my own.
So you were renting it, making money, and then you bought it later? Well done.
I bought a lot, then a car. I bought a car first.
At 19?
No, what? 19, 18, 19, I was still 18, 19, 20, 21, I was still working for someone else.
22, 23.
At 22, 23, I started on my own. Until then, I'm telling you, even though I could have really gone out on my own at 19 with the clientele I had and the people who trusted and loved me, I could have left at 19, I didn't leave, purely for my own moral reasons.
I think so.
During COVID, when everyone else abandoned him, I stayed. I thought I was with him and earning my percentages when things were good, so I couldn't leave him during tough times. And I was there and I always put myself last. And despite all that, he treated me like that, but still, I'm telling you, if he hadn't treated me that way, would I be here now? You understand? Would I still be with him? Probably, you understand. So there was no doubt, nor all these things I've done, whether little or much, nor would I help with what I'm doing. Do you understand who I'm helping?
So, when did the big breakthrough happen, let's say, and how did you manage to have so many cars?
Did the breakthrough happen? I usually didn't work in the VIP section in winter, just in Mykonos during summer. In winter, I worked different jobs here, mainly plumbing. You never stopped?
What do you mean?
No.
Don't they work during the season and then relax?
Yes. Look, none of them really make money or move up. I mean, the season gives you good money, but only if you work all year and not just during the season. You make a killing to save money, but if you only do that and don't work the other months. So basically the profit you make gets spent during the winter months just to survive? Because you're just surviving, right? You're not really living. You're just surviving. So I worked, even in the winter, either at the parking lot again or doing plumbing jobs. Whatever didn't bother me after the boom, I did it. When movies started being made here, I worked on Hollywood movies. Except for the first one, I was involved in all the rest that were made here. Transport and accompaniment. Basically of everything. How did that happen? In northern Greece? No. Another office from here took the job at first, which also had cars and so on, but they never had VIP service. They don't have it. And no one, good or bad, has it in northern Greece. Don't listen to what they say. I mean, just because something says VIP doesn't mean it's actually VIP. Anyone can put the VIP label on it. No one really knew how to handle a real VIP person because good or bad, they weren't. Mykonos again, with people who trusted me and helped me in Mykonos. We treated customers like VIPs, which is how I learned, and then actual VIPs began coming here because of the movies. The agency found me, maybe through social media, and someone called saying they wanted someone who could do the job well. That's what they were looking for. To deal only with the actors, only with the producers, only with the directors, who are, let's say, the most important people in a production. It got to me, I don't even know how, since the funny thing happened through Instagram with a message written in Greeklish. I mean, you wonder, are you kidding me with this? He says to me, Galispera, I'm so-and-so. We've taken on some Hollywood movies that are going to be shot in Thessaloniki. We arranged at this number to meet at our offices, and the whole exchange was in Greeklish. Not Greek, not English. Greeklish? I say, just for fun, should I call? Just for fun, I never expected something like this to happen. So I go, I say, good evening. I say, good evening. I say, you sent me a message about this and this? Ah, yes, he says, come to our offices and all that, inside their offices. It was out west, some fields. I go over there and wonder if I got myself into something. I go through it all, do the paperwork, talk with the bosses, and we agree. We start? We started 2, 3 eyes, I don't know.
Good money.
Sure. Yeah, good money for here, good money, very good.
Because let me tell you something, let's add this too if you want. The other day I did it for Panagiotis Milas, the tattooed guy.
All right?
And he acted in those Hollywood productions there in Thessaloniki.
Yes, and I was getting paid well. Think about it now. I was providing a service, not just a ride. You get it? Yeah, it's a totally different thing. And I'm telling you, it's very demanding. I mean, if you made a mistake, they didn't care. You'd be gone for a while.
Was that it?
The Expendables was filmed here with Statham, John Zanika, Lona, and others. It lasted about 3 months.
So 3 months, huh?
There, then we worked with Aaron Eckhart and Nina Dobrev. We had 2 or 3 movies, very big productions, Teen Soldier. We had some great work.
It's nice when that happens, right?
Yes, I don't know what has changed. But even at Vasilika, they had bought facilities and so on to turn them into studios. They were filming over there. We were there all the time. So something happened with the government, I'm not sure what, and movies stopped. They don't make them anymore. The country that eats its own children. That's how I see Greece. Didn't you get millions? Millions? Millions, really? That's when I got my big break. And after that, whatever money came in. But until I turned 25, things were different. Until I was 22, 23, I wasn't going out. Whatever money I made, I would spend it somewhere. I would buy a car. I would put it into my work. I would invest it somewhere, either a little or a lot. Not after 25. Okay, I did some stupid things, but after 25, after I did some things, everyone was watching. Everyone. I see it even now, even today. I have kids around me that I want to help and so on. And they care about how they'll get the new iPhone, how they'll go have a coffee, smoke a hookah. Man, come on, work. When you turn 30 or 35, you'll realize you started building something back then, just like everyone else. Are you going to wait till you're 40 or 45 just to say you made something? What are you going to do then? Man, yeah, you're not old, but think about having their money at 45 when you're 30. It's different, whether it's cars, houses, or your family. Whatever it is, you enjoy it differently. And it's different to go and start a family when you've built something and have a good income and you can offer and provide for your wife, your kids, and everything else. To get to the point where you're just going day by day, month by month, just trying to survive. Because for me, everyone is just surviving, no one is really living. That whole crowd is just surviving in general. They don't care about going out for their coffee or their hookah. Things aren't like that in Greece, especially since even the government doesn't help you. If the government helped us like they do abroad, supporting those who deserve it, like it should be, but here, they don't even help those who deserve it. That's why all Greeks, whenever they go abroad, they excel in whatever they do. Because the older generations learned, right? But what about the new ones? If they go abroad, won't they do anything? Because they've been lazy since they were young, always, right? There's a saying, I like to read a lot of these. It goes something like this. Hard times create tough people create easy times create soft people, and soft people create hard times, and so on. You understand? I think that right now we're at the point where we're the soft people, where only a few work and only a few want to improve themselves. That's how life will turn out, whether for you or your children. They will be forced to get to work, they will be forced to produce results in order to live, and these are the people who will build wealth and will succeed. And their children will learn the way I say, the villagers, how they teach their children, in the same way these people. They excel.
So Mano, I want you to tell me a bit about when you started working with celebrities.
Since 2019. Since 19, again, I'm telling you, Mykonos, you really have the chance, the opportunity to meet people of very high status, both Greek and in terms of wealth, but also on a personal level. I don't know if it's allowed to say it, but I'll say it and name him, and I admire this person, and I will admire him for a lifetime. Vangelis Temelakis are the owners of Santana. He is a person who, I met him through one of my boxing teachers. I met him in Agia. This happened in 2018. How? Should I tell you so? Some things become clear. How do circumstances come together? I met him in 2018 through this boxer friend. After that, I met him and I said in Agia, and he turns to me and says, since you're Alex's brother, you're my brother too. That's it, nothing more. After 45 days, about a month and a half, a girl comes to the Mpos parking lot and gets a flat tire. Now we're all running around in a panic. And she says, should I call roadside assistance? Should I call roadside assistance? Let me handle it. I just need 5 minutes to change your tire. She says, can you do that and all that? I say, yes, of course, I'll change it. 5 minutes. It was a Fiat 500 or something. I change it. The girl leaves the next day, and the Vespa arrives. Themalaki Vangelis was riding it with a girl behind him. I don't remember the girl. I just wanted to change the tire, have the woman leave, and move on. He comes over and says to me, hey man, what about these? I say, how are you, Mrs. Vangelis? What about these? Are you okay? She asks, did you change it? Do you want a tire? I reply, no, I don't remember because of all the tension. She asks, isn't that him? He replies, yes, that's him. He takes off his helmet and says, do you know the girl? I say, no. Well, didn't she change your tire yesterday? Oh yes, Mrs. Vangelis. I say, sorry, I didn't remember. He asks me, do you have 500? No, it doesn't matter. It's not a big amount. I say, please? No. He says, are you going to take that too? She's my girlfriend, my girlfriend, my wife. He says, please? I say, no, please. And these? No, you will take it. He's that kind of person. He doesn't do things for show. He's a real man, and anyone will tell you there's no one more manly than him. I love him very much. An Australian, thank you. This man came every day since that happened, and he would just say hi. He'd say hi and hand over €5. Can you believe it? He would say hi and give a €5 bill. When I got my first day's pay, which was tips, but still it was tips. It was technically outside of work since it wasn't a parking lot issue. Then the Australian says, yeah, but did you do it during work hours? Maybe not in the parking lot, but still on the clock. So I said, just take it, I don't care, keep the tip too. He checked on me for 2 days. Then on the third day I asked, stop, why am I not getting them? He replied, what? I'm not getting them, that's the agreement, that's my agreement, that's what I'll stick to. It's without my agreement, that's what I'll do. That's it, since I said I'll go for half, only for half. This man. In 2019, I was with the same boss again, okay, but in 19 he had Santana's post. I was there handling the transfers, and I was basically in charge of the 3 or 4 of us who were doing the Santana transfers. While Evan never forgot me, he always says he'll greet me. What do you do about that? With love, but not fake, because there are too many liars, not just in Mykonos, everywhere, with the fake, how are you? How are you doing? Never. This man never needed to miss me, let's say. I mean, he did it from his heart, Anyway, this man loved me very much. And even to the people in charge and all that, he always said, Malakis mo, malakis, like that, good kid, things like that. Of course, I was very short-tempered, since I was 18. From the very first day I was at ESY, I had to argue. I argued the first time. I argued with a lawyer a few days later. Likely with the taxi drivers at the taxi stand there. But I was, as I say, I repeat, in my misfortune, I was lucky it didn't keep going because I didn't have anyone to back me up and help me. I did, but didn't realize it was him. Understand? In 19, some things happened again at Santana, where I got involved with Santana, though, as a place. Because by then, it really became mine, in the sense that I loved the place. Because he was a good person, and the guys really over there, everyone spoke nicely, warmly, the reception, security, we all got along well with each other. And because Evan is that kind of person too, a real genuine man, he wouldn't say no. And I think, let me say, if you went, he would defend me even if he didn't know what was going on. He knew what. I don't argue without reason because I'm patient enough to explain why you're wrong. Think about it, is arguing my last option? I would do it though, I wouldn't back down, but I didn't want to do it until I had to argue. I was afraid. From the start, I used that as soon as contact began. I shut down because I had this, and the background, let's say, of trouble outside and so on. And because I was a wrestler, I didn't hit to cause harm. I would choke, I would tie up, I wouldn't, it's not like that. Strikers hit and they can cause damage without meaning to. To hit someone in a corner and all that, when I grab him, choke him, I'll just put him down. Of course, we also have those throws. We can do something similar. But if you know how to use it, you'll use what won't cause harm. You'll limit the damage. You understand? While a striker can't do that because for better or worse, his punch, his kick or whatever can be lethal. Anyway, but as I say, my biggest passion above all is driving. And it's the only thing I can be proud of myself for. It's driving. Because I don't see anyone sitting next to me just for that, for nothing else. Huh? The manager started entrusting the people in charge to me, and it began. How? One day he was late to go to the airport and he says to me, "Can you get me to the airport in 57 minutes? I said, "Will you put on your seatbelt and not talk?" Yes, I got him to the airport in 7 minutes. And he says to me, "From now on, you will be the one bringing the artists on your own." I started just with the transfer, but twice I had to deal with trouble. And then he told me, "You'll also have to handle the escort from now on." Like important people, I want to tell you, the circumstances that you experience once and they come to you like a test. Yes, exactly. I think it's karma. If I were immoral, this opportunity would never have come to me. Yeah, Evan wouldn't love me, let's say, if he knew I was doing other things. Absolutely, because that's the kind of person he is. I'm just saying that's how I started.
That's when, let's say, 50 Cent came.
Travis Scott in 19 first came as a client. That's not what it's called. Was it Ace Hood, the rapper? Really nice guy for these things, I'm telling you, he mostly trusted me. The whole thing starts, with the manager. Who will he give you? If the manager is satisfied, you'll have the client. If the manager isn't satisfied, obviously based on the client's feedback, he won't call you again.
Let me understand. You do VIP transfers, right? But it's not exactly that.
And also security. I also do security. There's transfer, which is only transfer. There are some companies that also do escorting, of course. You can't drive and escort at the same time, but there can be what they call a driver escort. But you're not the one getting out. He always stays in the car, waiting on standby. There are some things that they don't know, but I do. In Greece, only 2 companies, I'm not sure if I can mention them. Yes, there are 2 or 3 companies that do the job properly. I believe that I'm among them. I'm also one of them apart from the others. I know the whole process from start to finish. Leaving a big bodyguard next to you, some gym guy, anything like that, and just leaving it there, that's not escorting. Escorting is about the client's safety. It's also about their psychological security. What does that mean? If the client gets to the point where they feel in danger, you've lost control, it means you've failed. The point is to see the mistake coming and prevent it, to tell the other person, move away from that, keep your distance. For example, they don't see these things, you understand? And that was the case for me, as far as I'm concerned now, that I stood out and was their choice, because the commotion would have happened and they wouldn't have even noticed. So someone else would have told them, you know what, oh, Manolis did that earlier. If he hit there and you didn't see it, didn't all 3 of you still sense the danger? But his manager, his assistant, someone of his saw it, you understand, and told him, you know what? So automatically the other guy, when you don't want this to get around and so on, or to let it get in front of him so you can say, I hit him or I pushed him away, so it won't bother you. Why all this? Do they do that? They wait, they walk next to them and wait for something bad to happen so they can say you did something. Be sure that the serious client who wants real protection, real escort, wrong, that's the wrong word for me, wants real escort. He will do this. He will be someone who prevents things, just like a good driver, for me, is someone who prevents the accident. Do you understand what that means? Your distance, your speed, how you move on the road? It's the same for people, how someone walks, how they look, how they're dressed. Why good or bad? When we say that you judge someone by their appearance, yes, you do judge them. Why does it mean that something is wrong if a person chooses to dress irrationally? You understand? A person who chooses to go against their nature, something is wrong. Whether it's something mental or something from home, something is wrong. It's not condemnable, but you know it's wrong. And that's how it happened. And I believe I became who I am because of their choices. And I repeat, I had repeat clients. I mean, about the managers, I'll say, who are also people, Stamatis, Georgos, who helped me and, as I said, trusted me and kept giving me clients all the time. Because they know you'll give them Manos and they'll leave satisfied. They won't have any problems, whether it's a transfer, security, time, or anything else. Why? And then, when I stopped working with Santana, because of my boss and I was on my own, I still went as a boss VIP, because before, wasn't I a boss VIP? Okay, I was. For the others, everyone just chose Manos for who he was. Because they also had to pick someone from the company. But then, after I left the company and I was independent, they still chose me. That's when you kind of get the confirmation and you say, yeah, man, I was good and I deserve it, you know?
I want to ask you, at Boss VIP, how many people work there? How many of you are there?
Look, it depends on the season. For example, when we were here last year with the movies, we were 25 people.
How did you find all these people?
Generally, all these years, I've had my own team. The guys I've had since back then, for the past few years, you know, I still have them with me.
The people I mentioned to you, let's say you don't work together. The ones I told you about before, some people, some names I mentioned. Do you get it?
I know them, I know them. We don't work together, but not with the one he was working with, but we do work together. And he's one of those people I told you about, that for me, Nikos Pravantinos knows the job. Does he work for him? The one you mentioned, Nikos Pravantinos works for him. So, the Pentagon Group is a very complete company and really knows the job very well. And that's why it operates on a global scale. Okay? It's not just small, it's of global caliber. I mean, this man who works there could now be Kusufel anywhere.
What are the criteria you use to choose someone to be in this team you mentioned? I don't know, like accompanying clients?
No, escort, listen, I've never taken anyone else. I always do it myself. So, if I get an extra guy, it will be purely, you know, in quotes, I'll have him sit next to the client, but I'll be there too. Because maybe the client wants two. You get it? The client, maybe 3, 4. The others will be, let me say, they'll be fighters and so on, of course. No, I don't take show-offs. I only take fighters. But what I mean is that the extra guy I might get may not know the job like I do. But it's not like I'll send him alone and I'll be gone. He'll be there in the back, the personal security position. The person behind you on the right, no matter their handedness or if they're to your left, is your personal security guy. So he's in charge of you, while the others are the advanced team who check things. The advanced man is always ahead and must spot trouble. If you do this job, I would be the advanced man.
So it takes a lot of organization?
All that, it takes organization, you need to have connections, something they don't do. For example, the first time I did proper escorting from abroad was with 50 at Santana. He's the only real artist who came with a full team. Security supervisor, security in Las Vegas. Yeah, and he had me, just me. He didn't have anyone else from Greece. I mean, he only had me. For the rest, he had the venue's security team, not his personal ones. Do you get what I mean? After that, he's the only one who came. And for example, the security supervisors came a day earlier. We did entry, exit, emergency exits, set up where each security guard would be positioned. Do you understand? The setup, the venue, the tables, how they fit, how they don't fit, the layout of the venue. You understand? They don't do that much. Not much in Greece. I really believe there are two, maybe three companies, me, Nikos, and maybe one or two more that I don't know. Yes.
Who is the most famous person you've worked with?
I think 50?
50? Yes.
I don't know. I don't consider him that famous. When I judge, I ask, if I say his name, will people know it? I don't think there's anyone on the planet you could say 50 Cent to, and they wouldn't know who he is. And for me, he really is a real OG. He's an OG.
But do you want to talk about what you told me off camera about what 50 Cent suggested to you for some people?
Isn't that it? I don't mind.
What did he suggest to you and you said no?
I didn't say no, I said yes, but there were other circumstances that forced me to cancel it. So when the collaboration with Santana is over, with Santana, whom I had collaborated with before and who was in my movies,
How did they end up together?
the manager at the time told me that an email had come in asking for you. He wants you to go with him. I said, of course, yes. But back then, because the movies were about to be made, I got an offer. Don't go there, come here instead. Sign the contract for me that you'll be here supplying people for the movies and that you'll be here. I mean, of course, for your name and celebrity status. It would have been better if I had gone there, but I didn't care about being seen as someone who ran away. I knew that here, the cars would be mine, the staff would be mine, financially too. I mean, here I would be 10 times better off, you understand? So I said, okay, I won't go there, I'll come here. And I come here and I'm about to sign contracts and someone says to my face, I'm not going to say who, he says to my face, why shouldn't I just do it myself? That, it was also my own inexperience. I mean, I should never have revealed my plan. And what was I thinking of doing? Why did I, the fool, settle for just one? I relied on trust and cooperation since we had worked together before. I shared my plan and requested money for specific tasks. The moments I will give you will be these, and these. You understand? And he got right in my face like that, totally brazen, and said to me, okay, why shouldn't I just do it myself there?
How did you feel?
When you talk to someone so powerful, how does it make you feel?
You just left.
I stayed silent. Then he asked, can you find me those eyes you mentioned? I said yes.
Did that help you at all?
No, that guy never did that. They even stopped making all the movies. But I want to tell you about the audacity of some people and my inexperience. Some businesswomen, unlike me, never messed up. They knew what they were doing. I wasn't a businessman, and I still don't consider myself one. Yes, I might be very involved, investing, starting companies, and so on, but I don't have the management skills that a businessman should have. I've never dealt with bureaucracy because I'm hands-on. I don't mind working, going places, doing things, or running around. None of that bothers me. But I can't handle bureaucracy at all, not at all.
So I want to ask you now that you know all this, what would you do differently?
Wouldn't I change anything? No, I wouldn't change anything, because maybe if that thing had worked out in the end,
Would it go to 50 no?
no, if the other thing had worked out, it would have been for nothing. The movies would be canceled now. They don't happen anymore. So again, it's a no-go. So either way, it's a no-go. If I went into VIP or handled every VIP client, it wouldn't do all the rest. It wouldn't do what it would do. It would shut down. Boss VIP here, because I would be over there. I would be boss VIP, but I would be solo. I would be alone there. So, you mean these cars wouldn't exist? Yes, now we have a fleet, 11 cars. Now let's say we started with the travel agency, like I told you, the one with the hotels. I mean, none of this would have happened. The logistics, which is my new project, I mean, none of this would have started if my life hadn't gone this way, if some things hadn't been cancelled or hadn't happened.
You don't regret anything?
I don't regret anything, whatever happened. No, everything happened for a good reason. I mean, maybe back then I would say, wow, what a stupid thing I did. But you see that later, I'm telling you, I really believe in karma and in God. Things will come to you as they should, whether good or bad. The bad things that have happened to me, they've happened for a reason. And the good things that have happened to me, they've also happened for a reason. And the things that will happen in the future as well.
Mano, now I want you to tell me about things you've experienced in Mykonos. You've been there for so many years, 8 years. What have you seen over there? Because, okay, you were also with so many celebrities, you must have seen things for sure.
Good or bad? Good or bad? We've done good or bad. I'm telling you, I'm also a bit impulsive, and from the old days, of course, I was also unaware of the danger. I mean, because I still didn't know the people. I didn't know that so many names were involved in so many things at night, and in those things, I had no idea. But in Thessaloniki, where Thessaloniki, let's say, is 100 years behind Athens when it comes to nightlife, or it was anyway, and even more so since I was basically stuck on the island, let's say, I never imagined there would be so much intrigue and so much going on, and that there would be such craziness. With the money, because that much money is a lot. Over there, it was a lot. I told you before, in my misfortune, I was lucky because I was young. I mean, I was about 20 when it started. From the first trouble, let's say from 20. I was a kid. I looked like a softie. I mean, I had bangs. My hair was very blonde, nothing. And now I'm 96 kilos. And back then I was 74. Let me tell you, if someone saw me now, would they take me seriously? Even with big names, they wouldn't. In Archite, if you see someone 2 meters tall and 150 kilos, people still don't take you seriously. Despite all that, I did my tricks, I did my thing, everything went well, that's the truth. The arguments usually happened for silly reasons. I mean, in 2018, the first argument, the very first day, I set foot in Mpos and I went to talk about work. I had a friend from here who told me there will be another guy working there. Look after him because he has a health issue. Every 4 to 5 months he does something with his blood and stuff. He told me, be careful, he said, and all that. It likely has nothing to do with troublemakers. You're not hot-tempered, right? He says, does he have it? He says, okay, of course. I mean, I don't know the guy. And it just so happens, man, the first day, over there, like it is at Mpos, there's a checkpoint where you separate the cars. The cars that come, they either go to the VIP, where only the bosses and really big names go, or down to the regular parking lot, really big names. And in the regular parking lot, everyone else parks. This guy was at the spot where you split up when a car pulled up and asked, do you know who I am? And similar things. He politely replied, sorry, it's not possible, we have orders. This guy now, they had already told us this story. There was someone, the previous year, a valet had slept with his wife, and this man took a helicopter. The guy who'd slept with the valet's wife, he took him to a deserted place. They broke his collarbones, his ribs, and stuff like that. Yeah, and they had told us the story. So before all this happened, this car comes and he shows up now. But we didn't really know who he was. And the guy, I'm very polite, but he curses at him and grabs his neck. This guy, what can I say? He wasn't intimidating. He was about 5'7", just a normal guy, nothing special. Was he old? No, not really old. Maybe 45, around there. But while the kid is talking to him about these things, he grabs him by the neck. Where are you? I'm a little further away. Did you see him? I see him. Can you hear me? The tension? I was about 15 meters away. I go closer. I keep going. 1 or 2 more steps. I know, over there. And there was a woman who was in charge, Lena. Very good, Lena. But does she know who he is? Because they've been saying for years over there, he gives me a hard time. I didn't know her for that, but I don't care since the kids should have. He's my friend and acquaintance. I tell everyone to calm down. There's no reason for this. Who are you? Are you putting your hands on him? No one? I said I'm nobody. I backed off. I felt something, not fear, but I kept a low profile for a while. I'm nobody. So you were young back then, was I? 18 years old? 20 years old? Sorry, was it 18 or 20 years old? I was 21. Yeah, I said, who are you? I said, nobody. I said, let's have a good time. We came here, right? He says, what are you doing here? I don't know. A friend works here. Guys, let's have a good time. We came here, but maybe there's no reason. Let's go downstairs. But I'm telling you, I hung back a little. He says, okay, I'm not hitting or bothering him. I ask if he's sure. He says yes, but again speaks insultingly to him without touching him. And I know how he grabs the neck and how he grabs the collar. He gives it. You little punk, he says. I say what? Did I say something to you? I say, who are you? Oh, huh? Didn't I mention any names? One guy goes in, another stays out, I don't know, and Agios goes in too. One of them spoke to the bosses. What did he say? One of those who messed with me later? The one who did that stupid thing to me? The one I mentioned who tried to hold me back? That one? It was the first day. They didn't know me. He went in, he said, do I know about this? Did that man leave? He named a few people. Anyway, with that boss, he apologized and all that. He said he had his own issues too, so it's all good. Anyway, it was the first day. He stepped on my foot over there. That was my experience. Then he realized that my bosses had a name, because for many years I was on a pension. A few days later, when they had me do my first route, that boss of mine, this country, a young girl, There was an unwritten rule there that said we were not allowed to park in front of the taxi stand because we were illegal. We weren't with a company, even though he was a big shot. To avoid provoking them, we shouldn't have parked there. But I didn't know and ended up parking right in front of the taxi. They stopped to drop off the girl and one says, "You're leaving her here? I have people inside. You can't just shout and say things." I honk and say, "Wait, she's getting her change. Is the girl paying? Are you honking? Should I speak up? Can't you see?" They drop her off up front and stop while I'm paying. Why am I paying? Should I mention it's illegal? Am I crazy? I thought things were normal. Everything. Are you kidding me? Are you making fun of me? Come on, man. Should I say it? He was an older man, 55 or 60 years old now. Let me be uncle. I tell him, "Now sit down." I tell him over there, I say, "Don't go out," because he was about to go out. "Don't stay inside." Lucky for me, I didn't have time to leave. I see another 6 or 7 people coming down, taxi drivers. What do they want? I don't know. I leave quickly because you can't do anything inside. Then the old guy comes out all worked up. I tell him, "Don't touch me," and ask if he's going to do something. I repeat, "I won't do anything, but don't touch me." I ask if there's a reason and if he's upset. I warn him he's older and could collapse right here. Will you collapse? I told you I took off my glasses and said not to touch me. We start the katuka. I hadn't even slept, obviously. I'm not Superman, 7 people, but when they see the 2 of them fighting and getting dizzy, everyone breaks. Man, I get in their faces, I leave fighting. But the taxi driver didn't hit. It was the others who came, the younger ones, the older one. Did anyone really hit? I finished and went back to my boss. They come to my boss, but now I'm telling you, no one would talk to my boss. Now you're telling me this after months of working? No, this happened in less than a month, I'm telling you. The first incident was with that lawyer, then about a week or 10 days later, this happened. Did he go to the boss? Did he tell me this and that? I say it, man, I say it to you. Did that happen? I say, but I didn't even hit him or anything. They came, 78 people, and they all started the whole scene. I didn't do anything, and I'm telling you, did this happen? We fought, whatever happened, and I left. But he says the child is mine, and all that. I'm telling you, he really took care of me a lot the first 2 years. He really did. I mean, whatever I wanted and needed. He'd tell me to take the car if I wanted, never said no, and always took care of me. Afterwards, I'm telling you, when they see you going out a bit and so on, they get scared too, he says. He might leave me or something, which I would never do, I'm telling you. Because he took me to the island, taught me the job, and kept me on. I would never leave. He sent me away for my own good. This later now with politicians, security for political figures who wanted it. Because I worked for him and wanted to go down there, he'd say, "You're not going, you're on parking duty." Valet there? I was a valet at 18 during that last month, I'm telling you, when I started doing those night shifts. At 19, I was only a driver, 20 a driver, 21 a driver, 22 to 26, that was my own company, still just a driver, and little by little, the escort jobs started coming in too.
Now, do you have stories from when you were a bit older?
All right? Now, let me tell you something. After the first 2 years when everything happened, when all the big events took place.
After that, you didn't have any.
Suppose after that, for better or worse, and Mykonos, it's a village. We mostly all know each other, right?
Afterwards?
I had a lot of incidents in general on the street and stuff, but okay, one big incident, let's say, if you want to hear about it.
Mykonos.
Again, yes, I'm not talking about here. The big incident was in Mykonos. With what you said, that we argued, now, are we okay? I mean, I like that, but I might argue too. Are we arguing? If you shake my hand, everything's fine, my brother. Let's go eat. I have a friend, Antonis, who's now in Athens, who started out with an argument like that, a very strong guy and all, and in the end we didn't fight, but a lot was said. We talked and he called me brother. We both felt that way. But does that mean we'd argue every day and then just leave? You understand, this builds strong relationships between men. Anyway, a man goes to, this happened 3 years ago, I think. A man goes to the airport. He says, "Well, you all came here. Where's your river?" He curses at us, and I wasn't even there. I had one of my guys there. He says, "You came here." He takes our money, and Mykonos is better. He's from Athens. He takes our money. He says things like, "I'll do this to you. I'll beat you up." They call me, they tell me this and that. Why should I care? I said, "I was there." He said, "I don't care." But as it happens, the next day, in the morning, at that time I had broken up with the boss I mentioned, but we still had a relationship. If I needed something, I'd ask him. He hadn't yet done what eventually shocked me. I'll tell you about that soon. I go to Principote, who was my boss. He had the parking lot there, my old boss. Okay, now I'm on my own and I'm saying this. I went to see the driver, a driver. I tell him, move forward. I say, close the door, will you? Move? I tell him, in front of everyone. Who am I? Just move forward. I say, close the shop's door. Ouch! And I see that this company belongs to the one who said at the airport, I'll fuck you up, I'll wreck you. And I tell him, so you and your bosses don't get involved. Keep your eyes open. He says to me, are you sure about what you're saying? I say, do you want me to come to your office right now so you can see? He asks, are you sure? I reply, very sure, and ask if he's taking a picture of my license plate. But I mean, as someone who's been in transfers a long time, we have a group, all the drivers on the island, everyone who talks about checkpoints or things like that, or at least we used to.
And do they upload and send the license plate? Yes, they send it too.
That guy over there, his boss, the one who was swearing and causing trouble, he says, do we know which is the car and who's driving it? And I reply underneath, me? They pretend, who am I? And so on. I say, are you the one who went to the airport and told us, who aren't from Mykonos, what are you going to do to us? I say, you, are you going to do something to me? Are you going to mess with me? He says yes and starts cursing at me, cursing everything sacred. He says, like that. I say, come on now. I was having breakfast. Can you imagine? I say, come on, I'm there now, come on. I've parked the car about 100 meters down and I'm actually having breakfast. And I see 4 people around my car there, you know? So they were circling around. The boss was shouting over there while I was having breakfast. I take off, whatever I was wearing, bracelets, chains, and phones, you know. I say, hold these for a bit. He says nothing. I go downstairs. He says, is that you? He says, I say, what? And the driver is there, the one who was showing off, who says, are you sure? And he wags his finger at me like that. But I realize that the guy next to me is someone bigger than him because he was talking to a lot of people. I go to break it and I don't even get to finish my sentence. That big guy we're talking about, the boss, comes over, shows up next to me, and everyone's eyes go down. Huge guy, like 120 kilos. He goes to me, is that you? I say yes, and as soon as I say yes, he swings at me. I take a step back, I go in low at his legs, lift him up, slam him down hard, really hard, and then someone else comes from behind and starts hitting me. 5 people in total, 1 was down, 3 were hitting me from behind, and 1 was his guy. He was really good again. He tried to break us all up. Did you have to say that now? Do I have to take things like that? All right, I didn't have time. I took a few hits, 2 or 3, but they were in front of me. Then I remember a grey Fiat Punto. It's like I can see it right now. It was here, and my head was right there. As I was taking a hit, I ducked, and the whole hood came in. I got up, I was dizzy. We're not Superman now. If you hear someone say, I took on 100 people and did this and that, that's science fiction. I got up and moved farther away. You know, I snapped out of it, and they got encouraged. Just because you knocked down the other guy, his friend, we were helping them. One friend would throw a punch, then another one again, and the one who was separating us, trying to keep us apart. And now those 3 or 4 come one after the other. I'm urging them, but nothing happens. I hold them back with quick moves, shifting between them. Still, this guy was big. I don't know what came over him at that moment. He throws a spinning kick at me. Can you believe it? I don't know what got into him really. How does he even pull off a spinning kick? I mean, I turned my back just as he spun around from the spinning move. He didn't hit me. He gets a little dizzy. He doesn't fall, just dizzy. So I throw a spinning kick myself, but I had that move from my taekwondo years. And as I do it to him, he reacts like this. And the other guy next to him sits down and says, where are you going now? I give him a kick to the legs. He drops to his knees. I go to give him a second one, and he gets up. I won't tell you how sometimes they get cocky. I didn't do anything, and he runs. That's exactly how I handle them. Then another guy comes, the other one. He was a kid, 50 kilos about my weight. He was about my weight. There weren't that many of them. Doesn't matter how many. The street and the ring are different. Maybe I won't do anything in the ring, just like guys from the ring might not do anything outside. Anyway, that's just a slap. I mean, it's nothing. And he left, we moved on. Something else happened a bit further down, and then the police arrived. I had already left, I got away. Did you get hurt badly? Should I show you? I have a video, the whole scene. I just had some scratches on my hand and a scraped knee, that's all. It was a smooth surface there, just a bump. I didn't really have anything. Yeah, I felt it. I messed up. I've already left, I know. I've gone over to Petro. I have to keep up with the schedule, but I've already left. A KTEL bus also stopped. And those? Huh? Anyway, back then I had people with me. Two brothers from Bitcoin had made a Bitcoin coach, and it was 100% very strong. My friend Neuronas calls me. He says, am I involved in this process? In any lawsuit? Am I getting dragged into it? He says, I hide the car, and I was only on foot. I mean, with the clients. The 24 hours pass. I go. I file a countersuit because it really is a countersuit. I have to go. I explain the situation and what happened. The police officer says to me, he says, man, what are you saying? The other guy wrote that he was alone and you were two people. He says, do you have witnesses? He asked me, for what you're saying. I say, I don't know how many, 150, 200 people. I tell him. He says, who? I say, you'll have to track down the KTEL bus on that route that stopped there then. And you'll go across to the breakfast place, I won't mention names, and across to the rental places. Was it? There were about 50 people watching you? Yes, they were all together next to each other and everyone said the same thing. They said, we don't know who's who. They said they saw 5 people, not knowing one was splitting up. The witness said 5 beat up one, but later claimed the one was chasing the 5. You understand? Everyone said the same thing without knowing who's who. But anyway, the mistake that was made, why did they make such a big mistake? The mistake?
No.
Was it cut or not? It's moving forward to court as usual, but they're making another mistake. They had a partner who started with them back then, who was also very big in the escort business. As a person though, I mean as an individual. And he wanted to have them as a partner on the island to send them clients. I don't know exactly what he wanted to do, and he had a very powerful man from Athens. He's dead now. He was thin and died recently. We killed him. He says he takes him to that guy in Athens and tells him about his problem with this kid, hoping he can help. He says, don't start. He calls a friend of mine, my friend, he says, I knew him, a very strong guy, also from Athens. Asterios calls me and asks, Asterios, do you see those things there? He says, let's meet to discuss what happened. He says, now Asterios is your friend? I say, man, are you going to fight with Asterios now? Why, man, I mean, over nothing. There were 5 people, 4. I was the only one, and you're getting me into trouble. He calls, I say, come on, Asterios. He comes, then I say, now you'll fight Asterios, but I don't want that. Asterios arrives. He truly didn't want us to fight. He talked to me. He says, you? Did he call me from Athens? I say, should I call now? He says, you know who? Should I call now? He calls him. I say, come on. I say, listen. I say, not a single step back. I say, because he says, should I cut it off? Who are you? He says to me, where have I seen you? I say, it's me. Who, Manolaki? He says to me, are you the one? On trips, when they came to Mykonos, again through my friend, through an acquaintance of mine, we used to sleep together in the same bed. As the saying goes, he says, you know very well. He says, Manolaki, he says to me, is that you? And all that? He says, okay, listen. I say, what can I tell you? I tell him this, and that happened. And I say it. They filed a complaint, so to speak. They filed a complaint. He interrupts, asking, what did they do? File a complaint? Hang up for what? Another day, another call. He says, good evening, Mr. Bosmalis from the department. He says, Mr. So-and-so is here. Does he want to withdraw the complaint? What will you accept? I said, what do you mean? What will I accept? He says he'll withdraw yours. I say, I don't know. He insists I answer, so I say, fine, withdraw it. That man over there, you can't have it both ways. When you're straight with someone, you choose either the straight life or the nightlife. You can't file a complaint and then instantly call a nightlife guy to fix it. He did both things. Foolish. Anyway, he makes that call over there. He says, this and that. Their associate comes to find me. We talk, and we sort everything out just fine.
This now? When did this happen?
The incident? 3 years ago, 4.
Yeah, but aren't you still young?
Very. I've been on the island for 8 years now. In total, I've spent 3 or 4 full years here.
Did you have an experience too?
Connections? I did. By then I was doing fine. I mean, only that person I knew, the late one, I felt I see her. No one. No one? Oh yes, but from that part. But at the same time, she didn't feel me either, because I didn't want that circle. I know them. I have a lot of guys that I know over there in that area. I love them. They love me. But that's as far as it goes.
You were never scared to say you were leaving?
Once, it happened to me once. So how did you end up there? Didn't it fall? Trouble, why? Title. From the phones that fell, I say friends. The threats, I mean, it's not that they're threatening you, it's that I have you. I make a call, he has another guy, and the two big guys talk to each other. I mean, the fact that I got to the point where I had to call someone who's really high up to help me. You understand? I'm not saying I knew them and all that, but I never wanted to have anything to do with that world. You see, again, you get into this process of making calls when it's not, I'll say, fair and equal by nature. I mean, if he told me, let's say, to go outside and settle it ourselves, which is also part of it. He's that kind of guy who, in the end, really was very genuine and he's a good guy. So, was it a bad thing that happened? You're not in a position to say that someone else isn't a good guy. It's the circumstances, his mood. At that moment, and how my own side takes it, sometimes misunderstandings that happen out of nothing. And anyway, her. There was a time when I said, not that I left the island, I never managed to leave the island, but I said, man, what's going to happen? I mean, I was stuck with that anxiety,
Was it eating at you?
Yes, but it's worse, that fear. For me, it's worse than the fear of trouble. Because when we fight, it's over afterwards. We fought, maybe we have a few bruises, it's done, that's it. But the other thing, after that, we moved on to something else. It was over. We weren't talking about fighting anymore. We were talking about more serious things. I don't want those things. I know them. I know all that, but I don't want them. I prefer to be a daytime person, not a night person. I love them, I respect them, and so on. Of course, something is important, but that's as far as I want to go. I want to be a businessman. I don't know how to describe it. It's like being nocturnal. Do you understand that?
Well, you've been through a lot.
The day has many more things, smaller ones. I mean now, even something in the fight. What did you say to me? What did I say to you? Blah, blah. But those are more mild. Why don't you put me in the shop? Inflatable, yada, yada. Okay, I think for me it's normal, not just for me, for anyone who moves in this field. I mean, I think we all have the stage heart. Is it something wow? Mine? I think it's something wow. The things I mentioned to you. I mean, I was undisciplined, lucky because of my appearance. I was a kid and so on. And I was saved in the beginning when I went the first year.
So now I'm going to ask you something else. Did you see any progress in Boss VIP? How? And you wanted to get involved with other businesses too, and you didn't just stick with Boss VIP?
My thinking has always been and still is to invest. And in general, at least until you reach a point where, like you'll go somewhere and you won't look at the prices. We're not talking about becoming billionaires, but you're seeking a certain lifestyle. For example, my obsession is cars. My obsession is to get a supercar, let's say, and I have the same obsession. The next thing I'll do, on a bigger scale, is to buy a gift for my father, a nice car. My father especially loves it. He's wild behind the wheel, really something else. Things like that. I don't want, let's say, my family to ever have to work again, Those are my goals. And with that mindset, I invest elsewhere too. And I always invest in the area I know. That's right, Osulu. I didn't go out or care about fashion until I was 25.
The hustlers, Tate, all those who show it off, back then, I don't think those guys existed when you were 21, did they?
Not sure anyone back then would admit I'm not into it, especially with social media then. You know what I mean?
Now everyone wants to be out there?
Everyone wants it, even back then. But who actually fights for it? I might want to be out there, while you might want something different. What I understood, for example, is that I'll stay at my desk until midnight, even now, when I don't have something to do, something that might develop later, and someone else will make a choice. Bravo, you understand? The other person decides. You offer the chance and say, put 6 grand here to make 2 grand a month. With proper work, right? Not gambling or crypto or anything like that. Work that's purely about how it performs. I mean, if you say you'll work 12 hours today, you'll get paid for 12 hours, you get it? You give him the opportunity and he doesn't take it. And he says, I'm telling you, did this just happen now? It's been 2 weeks now with the logistics. He tells me, a buddy calls me, a young kid, I'm telling you, I look after him. He says to me, Manolis, I got a phone and all that stuff. The same day I tell him I just got one, I say it's different. I want to tell you about the logistics I'm starting now. Everyone, depending on their perspective and where they want to go. They need to act accordingly. I'm telling you, the way I move and think is straightforward. I think I got it from my dad, because my dad, with the facts we have now, is a real hustler. You understand? But I repeat, always with facts, and in general when I speak, I want there to be facts and arguments. Theories or ideas that come from nowhere don't mean anything to me.
Everyone has ideas.
Yes, everyone. I think about things too, but I can substantiate them with facts because nothing compares to facts. Mathematics hasn't been approved by anyone. 1 plus 1 equals 2, no matter what happens, no matter what you do with them. 1 plus 1 equals 2, not 11, not 11. So did you understand?
I want you to tell me now, in general. You told me before that, okay, you don't know much about the field, what's it called, with plumbing and all that. But since you have good communication with your father, why don't you want to work with him to start a business together in this field?
Look, I'll tell you, because I was in Miami for 3 months recently, a job I would like to do over there, and I can do it because, let's say, violence is also common there, and there's Uber and all that. A job I wanted to do is construction.
Construction work, and there your father can help you too.
Bravo, I understand. I think everything is different for each place and depending on the time period, etc. Because I was always in Mykonos with the cars, I chose tourism. I worked with my cars. I got into, I'm telling you, the hotels. And that's why I also started, I'm telling you, the tourism business. Because I combine the services, which are the cars, with the accommodation. And basically, the only thing I don't actually own is an airline. You understand? What else can I say? I just need to find the ticket for my client. I have his accommodation at the hotel. I also have the cars. You understand? Of course, only in the areas where I have the hotels. Not everywhere. But still, at least in those areas, I'm in a strong position.
I want to ask you now, someone who sees this and is 20 years old, 18, I don't know, okay, they see all this, but they're starting from zero.
Yes.
And all this sounds crazy. How can they manage? Someone, who might be working and making 1,500 euros, like you said.
Who earns 1,500? If someone does, that's great, yes.
I'm telling you, they might be making 2,800, yes. How can someone reach a point at 30 like you and be making money that's not enough?
I don't know how to tell you about someone else's way. I'm just telling you my own, that's what I'm saying. Mainly thanks to my father who, since I was little, got me into work and all that and taught me that work is health because that's how I see it. I consider work to be health. Yeah. I believe that if someone only works the 8-hour shift because that's what everyone does now and doesn't want to work, for example, on Saturday and Sunday, they'll never succeed. You get what I mean, right? You found a job? There are other kids who work 1, 2, even 3 jobs at the same time. Isn't there something wrong with that? Do these kids want to get somewhere?
Something they want to do.
Something? They want to do something. When you choose coffee over always being on the computer or phone, why not look for an idea, something? Now, especially with things like ChatGPT, everything is super easy. Or you have someone next to you who can help you. It's not a bad thing to give it a try, to think it through. Manolis, Kostas, Tassos, Giannis, help me. Someone you trust. Okay, you're not going to grab just anyone and ask, how do I do this? Or I want to do this, how will it sound? Get an opinion, Saku. Go out on the street, talk to people. Sitting in front of a screen and scrolling through Instagram, TikTok and all that, it will never give you anything. What will it give you? You just saw another silly video? You saw someone else pretending to hustle, acting like a hustler with millions, but hasn't done anything? Maybe it's someone else's, or they're posting a fake life that belongs to someone else. Yeah, or everyone says, follow me or sign up so I can teach you how to make money.
These are business goals, man.
For me, someone who wants to do something right now in Greece, I also don't believe there are no jobs. If you want to work, you work. This thing about there are no jobs, man, go work for 800 or 900 euros, and if you want to do something, you'll develop it. Don't worry. And if you deserve it, you'll rise. I also like that Mykonos feels like a very meritocratic island. No matter what connections you have, whoever you know, if you're not worth it, they won't keep you. Do you understand what I mean? You might have your dad, who is my friend. The boss will hire you, maybe he'll hire you, but if you could get a servitor position, he'll put you in Thessaloniki and you'll get half your salary and also get 500 euros in tips. Let's say for the month, he'll put you in X place and have you earning 800 euros again. He'll assign you to the least demanding customers with the lowest tips, since he doesn't know or trust you. That's the most he'll do for you in June in Mykonos. In reality, they'll tell you, I can't take him because he doesn't have experience. They'll never put friendship above work. And is that the right thing? For me, friendship is in the personal part. It's different in my work. You shouldn't suggest it, even as my friend, because I can't risk harming my work. You understand? To bring me someone who doesn't know what they're doing. You can say pardon, let them learn, I don't know, and so on, but not now, when you know we've been going full speed for 3 months to put extra pressure on me.
So your advice basically is for someone to work whatever job they can and just work.
And then to save money, see what they're good at and what they like, and turn their hobby into a profession.
Don't go and become at a hookah place, for example.
Let him sit down and search, man, since he's going to be on his phone anyway. Because even if he goes to work at a hookah place, he'll just be on his phone. You get it? Let him stay at home. Let him go to bed early. Wake up early the next day. Because you should know, the person who says all these things, the sayings, I'll say it, are from my father, as I mean a villager, as I say, sayings taken from life. Or like they say, the early bird catches the worm. It's true. If you wake up early in the morning, your whole life will be better, your whole day, and your mood will change. You'll meet someone, a serious businessman, to whom you'll say good morning. If he sees you up early and active, he'll treat you differently than a kid he sees out at night. Do you understand? So my advice is to do a job, whether it's at night or during the day, it doesn't matter. Don't waste your mornings, because real work gets done in the morning, not at night in the dark. And focus on something specific that you're good at. Me. What I'm lucky about, I can say, is that I turned my hobby into my profession. As they say, I respect it, and I made driving my job, and in a way, I never really work. Do you understand what I mean? And then also, take a person you trust and who is truly successful. And successful, not just successful on social media. You see him, you actually know him and see him and say, this person has made 7, or started with 0, or started with 10 and turned it into 1,000. He didn't start with 10 and make it 11 or 19. Ask him for advice. It's good to ask, is this how it is? Are people getting into crypto now? Why is everyone into crypto? Because it's an easy investment, but whatever is easy can be lost. Do you understand? For me, the job someone should do now is any job, whatever it is, where you get paid based on how much you work. What do I mean? Logistics, for example, the job I'm doing now. I'm telling you, it's a job that's purely based on how much you want to work. I mean, everyone needs trucks. Everyone wants to do deliveries. Everyone has to get their stuff from one warehouse to another, or from here to there. Whether it's IKEA, Scroots, or another company, they must deliver items to warehouses, distribute, and manage them. Do you understand? Plumbing, manual labor jobs are jobs that are first of all disappearing. You see, there aren't good plumbers, only good electricians. These are jobs, and they're jobs that pay well. A plumber can go home with 3.5, 4, 500, as much as he wants. Anyway, it depends on how much he chooses to work, Let me tell you, going to work. Thank you. Should I say hospitality? It's fine to work, but you need to know when to stop. Don't say you got comfortable. For example, if you stay too long, you'll reach 30, and even in hospitality, they'll only keep you until a certain age. For example, for women, it's a bit worse. What do I mean? I mean, a woman, they'll look at her appearance, and when a woman reaches a certain age, when she starts to age, and then a new young girl will come, someone new and more cheerful and all that, and they'll let you go. What will you do? Whatever it is, start early and work for yourself instead of staying an employee. That's it. That's my experience and what I tell others. I can't speak on what I don't know. Others may say different things and also be right, but this is based on my experience.
You told me your goal, but what about a dream you have? What would it be, like a business or something you would say?
Whatever this business is, I want it to make an impact, and for people to say this is number one. You understand? Whatever it is, whether it's plumbing, post-VIP, or logistics, I want to make an impact. To reach the point where I know that wherever you say this name, people will say that this is number one. Did you get that? Why? I repeat, whatever sayings I tell you, it's from my father. Whatever happens, in the end, you are left with your reputation when you die. We'll all end up 2 meters underground, but what will remain in the end is your reputation. Your children may or may not continue what you leave behind, but what matters is that you did something, and that's what lasts.
So, I want you to say one last message now before we move on to audience questions. A message you want to give to the world. I don't know, whatever you want.
A little phrase I have in English, I've read it, of course, I have it in my mind, but stop being afraid of what could go wrong. Stop being afraid of what could go wrong. You see, whatever you do,
They think something will happen. Excuses.
yes. In general, whatever I do, I'm a spur of the moment kind of person. I mean, I'll see something now, I'll think about it, I'll do it, and then I'll move on to the next step. I'll go step by step though. I mean, I won't start something and already be thinking about step 10. Do the first 9, take the first 9 steps, and then you'll get to 10. Yes, you can't get to 10 if you don't go step by step through all the previous things.
That's a very nice message, Manos. Let's go now. Some kids from the audience have sent us questions. Is that right? So, if you could tell us, I'll start here. It says, what kind of response does he get from women now that he's become famous?
Is that so? Is that right? I don't even really want to be famous.
That's what he says.
Okay, what impact? I don't think anything changed. I don't know. It's something that when you don't chase it, you don't pay attention to it either. I mean, whatever it is. Whatever I do, I'll do through my work. I've left that part behind. I'm somewhere else. You know? I'm focused on someone else. Dedicated.
Girls look at how much money the other person has.
Like 3,000,000%. And let me tell you something else. I realized that abroad.
More comfortable than a worker.
Listen, but why is it that women only look at money and women are indirectly the money? What does that mean? There are guys who are very good looking and have money, and there are guys who are very good looking and don't have money. The same person with money and without money, you know? You don't know if he has money, his whole psychology changes. I mean, the same person. So you throw a good looking guy at the woman, and what do you say? Does he have money or not? You don't have money, you don't know, you just like his vibe. If you have the right mindset, I mean, and a lot of people, myself included, get their mindset from whether they're doing well financially. You can't have the same mindset when you don't know if you have money even for a coffee. Did you feel that? Yes, I felt it, you know. I mean, I'm not the same as when I come back from the island, for example, and I say I'm fine, I don't care. I can do whatever I want, eat good food, eat well, go on a trip, take care of the girl I have by my side. You understand? Yes, it's completely different from what you give off. It's not. Okay, of course, you'll tell me. The main way most women get attracted, obviously. They check the money to see what the other person offers. Do you get it? It's okay to see how much money someone has because it shows what kind of person they are, whether they work hard or not. You understand? Because if someone doesn't have money, does it mean they're not trying or they're lazy and just taking, the government benefit? Hey man, are you just comfortable? Don't you want to grow as a person? Do you want to stay stagnant? Huh? That kind of person. Even if they're good looking, you won't care about what they're projecting. They can't offer you anything. And again, we're talking strictly about the financial part. They can't offer you anything because as a person, their mindset is wrong.
The realest person, the whole zero to hero idea, plans for Miami, let him tell us.
Ha ha ha. My plans for Miami? I would stay even now if I could.
Yeah, tell me a bit. Do you have things to do there with your businesses?
Do I want to start a business? I don't have a business. I want to start one. And the reason I want to go there is personal.
Like open an LLC, as they say.
For someone? Yes.
Will you do VIP work because of this?
I don't want to do VIP work. No, there are too many over there, and I think it's pointless. I mean, there are much more profitable businesses than VIP. I want to go over there, but I want to go because it's like I'm starting again from scratch. I want to set up everything I have here right now and have an income from Greece so that whatever happens, I'll be able to live over there. Not like, how can I say it, like an ordinary person, a step above that. I don't want to go and just be another worker. I want to go with the comfort of my own finances. To know that from Greece, I will get this thing, I will get the Mpos show, and at least I will be able to cover all my expenses and be able to promote myself, to develop myself there as well. Because I can't go and start from scratch now, can I? I mean, haven't I done all that all these years? I've spent hours, sleepless nights, exhaustion, everything, just to go and start again from scratch. You understand?
But that's where you'll break free.
You'll break free just to escape. If I break free now without having the liquidity, the cash, let's say, from Greece, I'll go and I'll have to start all over again. For example, as a driver, or as a waiter, for example. I can't do that again.
So you'll build it here. Perfect.
Great. I want something that gives me a foundation for over there. I'm telling you, it's a personal reason for someone I want to go. Let's say, okay.
Okay, so here it says will you have our best guest? Here it says, how many slaps has he given out?
Okay, quite a few. Okay, there are people much worse than me? I don't think so. I mean, it's not that many. I don't consider myself a kid who goes around looking to slap people. I'm just telling you, I don't back down really. I don't care who the other person is. If I'm right, I won't back down for anything. If I don't go after it, I'm telling you, all I do is sit and explain to the other person that, you know what you're saying is wrong, or listen to this. That's as far as it goes. And the only thing I can't stand, I mean I'll snap immediately, is if it involves my family, there's no way would I die. I don't care really, honestly. I don't mind for myself, but when it comes to my family.
Did you generally provoke people?
Never, I didn't provoke people. I never did the whole what are you looking at thing or anything like that.
There are people like that.
Though, was I provoking? I never provoke people for no reason though. I did provoke in the sense that I was young. I mean, very young, not now. I was young, I was quite a troublemaker, but not to do any harm. You didn't tease him just to make him laugh, you know? But until he couldn't hold it in anymore, I wouldn't stop making him laugh. I'd make him cry from laughing. I was a troublemaker, but not a bad person. Now, do I provoke? Sometimes I might do it if I like someone or their attitude or if they act in a way they shouldn't toward me. And I can provoke him to make a mistake, to get where I want, but not to hurt or anything like that.
No, are you talking about when I was younger now?
Yeah, now I would just do it to get to the point, to answer back verbally. So, should I tell him what you're doing, Zekhaze? Yes, what you're doing, stop it. I mean, don't do it, I don't want it, I don't like it.
Do you feel like you've calmed down now? Where?
Yes, totally, for better or worse.
And now you've also built things that you might destroy.
To be lost, from a slap, from a hit, I could lose all these things.
So now you're more careful.
I was always afraid of the law since I was a kid, because as you can see, things aren't fair out there, even according to the law. You see that anyone, if you have money or something, can do whatever they want to you for nothing, so should we pay them? So it's not worth it here.
He says, do you think your circle plays a key role in your life if you want to achieve your goals, your circle?
Yes, your circle matters. Show me your friend and I'll tell you who you are.
You want to talk about this? Seriously? Why didn't we mention it? About friends, about your circle? Yeah, do you have childhood friends? Have you kept friends? Not from back then? Do you have friends now?
Yeah, I do. Me, in general, let's say, I never use the word bro or brother. I think it's a very big and strong title to use it just anywhere, left and right. And that, again, comes from my father. I mean, sometimes he heard me say, when I was younger in middle school, when I said, come on, bro. And he said, is he your brother? Huh? What do you mean? Are those two your brothers? What about your sisters? Those two? Who are those two? What are those two? What are they? How can you give, such a strong title to someone? Brother? And he says to me, since it means that you would die for him, that he would die for you. That's what brother means, or sister. You can't just assign that title, he says, left and right, like it's the same, on a smaller scale. For a friend or an acquaintance, that's something else entirely. I have many acquaintances, fewer friends, and even fewer brothers.
Do you though?
I do, yes I do.
Yeah? What makes you say that?
I have 3 people, 4 in my life that I trust. I mean, what can I say? Even my mother and my father know, for example. If this person asks you for everything Manolis owns, including all his car keys, give it to them. They won't ask what or how, I'll just say take them, you understand? That's it.
Has anyone ever done that to you?
Yes.
You definitely remember when I was...
I'm telling you, when I was young, for example, when I finished high school, we had a group of friends. Back then we were a group. Let's say we were friends, okay? I mean, we would go out, for example, for coffee or whatever. We would hang out together for an hour, let's say. Thank you. That's it, guys. For some reason, you know what? I was kind of mischievous. I repeat, I've admitted this. I know what I'm doing. That's it, guys. For some reason, I know the reason. Of course, later on, back then it was about the girls and all that. I was doing well. You know what I mean? We had the girls. I was very active. I'm telling you, I was into everything and all that, whether it was at night or whatever. They didn't like that because whatever it was, I mean, if we were going somewhere, they'd say, Manolis call Kaunisis. But when high school was over, they went, let's say, to Skiathos, and they didn't tell me. And they went with another group. Which one? Did they know me? My friends? People I knew? But there was no continuity. We, on the other hand, were always together. And Manolis says, which one is it? Didn't we mention him at first? They told him they'd mention me, and when they went to book tickets, Manolis asked which one it was. He won't come? I know. Something like that. Why? Or he called me and asked me. I don't remember exactly how it happened, but still, the guys, on the day they were leaving, they saw that I wasn't there. Manolis says, brother, you know from the other side? Forget it. Invitation? You should know. He says, if they had known what was done to me and that I wasn't told, he wouldn't have gone, nor would they. They went there upset because they had behaved badly. The Antipak guys who weren't my friends,
From what I understand, they were jealous of you, they were annoyed.
I don't know. I don't want to say I know about some of them. One of them, Arinas, came back to me, apologized, told me you were right. I did something stupid. I was influenced by that guy. But the result is the same though. But what matters to me now, I'm telling you, is that those kids back then, I mean those people in general, back then they used to say that Manos wouldn't make it. I won't do anything because I'm mischievous, lively, things like that. Yeah. And I say one of them, two, or one, probably two. Three of them came and asked me for a job. And I say, man, back then I said all of you were like that. You used to say this and that. And now I say, well done. Let's say I congratulate myself. I say, I'm here and you're there. You still, let's say, work there for some salary. You're there. You're there. You want to become a lawyer, but you won't become anything. I mean, and I'm here with the little or the much that I've done. You understand? I tell you. And then you see the foundation. Not foundation, sorry. After a while, you see what each person really is and what drives their life.
I believe the success in whatever each person has done, I mean what you did, was it? I don't want to put it that way, but others say it too, that it's like revenge somehow. So to everyone, thank you.
Something like that.
I mean, people will talk about how successful you are.
But something that is real and tangible, you see it in front of you, you see it everywhere, you can't deny it. I mean, even if I'm not on good terms with someone, if they're good at their job, I can't deny it. Even if I'm not talking to them, it's not nice, but they're good at their job. Man, what can I do? That's just how it is. So,
Mano, thank you so much for this conversation.
thank you very much too. It's a comment that I think someone should make. I would like us to take the good parts and leave the negative parts of the ego, some good and some negative aspects of the ego. When you have someone else and you will have the negatives, you should take the good from everyone and stick to those. I didn't make any mistakes, nor is this a big deal. You might become someone someday and I might know or not know it, regardless of what anyone has done. I mean, for our friends, our acquaintances, our people, we should take their positives and keep them and throw away the negatives.
You'll leave your Instagram below. Maybe someone will send a message. I don't know. Should I say that? Do you want to say anything else? I don't know.
No, that's fine with me. That's something else.
We're also at the offices.
Do we have any other questions?
Here at the offices. They're coming here now to book.
Because the office just opened now.
Why did you set up offices and not have them work from home? Home X.
All right.
The taxo? Yes, the agency.
Let's say here, all right, now we're starting. First, we're still struggling with the setup. I mean, the site is ready and all that. Obviously, now we're adding the packages. I mean, we've already started getting customers, which I didn't expect so quickly, to be honest. But all right, we also have good ones.
The network you have?
We have a good network. We have really good packages and stuff like that. And the office is when you go to the office? No, yes. When you go to the office, you work from home. Let me work. I'll listen. Because of the reason, let me see what they're saying over there.
Do you come here? Do you work?
I don't come. I sit. I don't work. The guys definitely do the work, but I'll be here. I mean, if I don't have something to do.
Good feeling. Good.
It's sacred when you're at work, you know? It's sacred. And the person who works for you respects you more. They say you didn't give up and leave.
And in Mykonos, do you have offices?
Office, right? Office. No, there isn't one. We're behind the wheel all day. Me too. It's not like I just sit and work.
You just have a garage, I guess? Yes.
Yes, yes. So quickly then.
Is that what you are?
Thank you very much.
Hello?
Hello?